not for the first time, Liverpool had to do it the hard way, conceding first against Lask. It's the fourth time in the last 5 games they have conceded first, albeit they won in the end. This was Jurgen.
People expect us to fly through this competition. That will not happen. It will not happen. It will not happen in the group stage. It will not happen in the knockout stage. It will not happen. So we have to dig into it, and that's what we did. Well, massive learning curve tonight. The opponent suffered much less from the pitch than we did, which is quite a little bit normal because we had the ball more often. But besides that, we had to get used to it. So we can learn so much. If we would have used Bendoga a little bit more often, give him the ball, I think he would have come covered more times on the touchline and pass the ball inside or whatever. Stefan could get minutes. So many positives, and I'm cheeky enough to be really happy about that game.
Yeah, so many positives. I mean, some might see it, Simon, as a concern that they get off to a slow start. Their 4th time in 5 that they've conceded first. But as Klopp says there, surely it's a positive that they show the resilience to come back, in spite of who the opponent is.
Well, absolutely. And it is not an unreasonable expectation for Liverpool to stroll through this group.
Yeah.
Because look at who they're playing against. So whilst he might not like that particular characterisation, and nothing is a given and you can only beat the teams that are in front of you, the object of the aim, Jurgen, is for Liverpool to be on their best form. And given that's the sentiment that should be there as a matter of course, then Liverpool should stroll through this group. If you're looking at the teams that they're playing against, which is Toulouse, Lask and Union, you'd expect them to be able to achieve outcomes. And the fact they go behind, no. Look, Liverpool are not quite where they have been previously defensively. Was Van Dijk playing last night?
He was, yeah.
But he himself has not quite been where he once was, and whether whether he's going on the other side of it. Martin can probably talk about a centre-back.
I think from when the last time they won the Champions League, Simon, I think that's probably the only player that Van Dijk was present last night.
Was that right?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the players, it's quite a change. And it just feels that Klopp is now starting again, isn't he, with a new bunch of players.
Salah would have been there, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Well, Salah came off the bench, so like the starting 11 is kind of brand new. So
it's a lot to be said
for
that.
A
I mean,
lot,
it's like
a lot
a
of
brand
changes.
new midfield,
Henderson, Milner were allowed to leave. So now, I think there's a good motivation actually with Liverpool, because when you arrive, you've been in the illustrious Champions League all these times. Suddenly in the Europa League, I think you look at it and think it's a bit like after the Lord Mayor show.
Yes.
And it's like you could have forgiven them, but he brought players in who've got points to prove. New players, it's a new broom. With a little bit of experience, and yeah, Jim, it is a habit they're falling into. Keep going behind in games. I was at the game at Wolves actually at the weekend. It was very much the same. I thought Wolves were magnificent in the first half. Second half, though, Liverpool, the manager, he took over. He made really key changes to the personnel, and they played with a momentum. But they're still, it's kind of like not quite right at the moment. They're playing with the fullback that goes into midfield. They're not got the right balance. It's very congested.
How did you travel to Wolverhampton?
Went on the train. An interesting journey.
Any hassle?
A little bit of hackling, but that's fine. Man United fans on the way up to Old Trafford. If you're getting that train from Oxford, Jim, you're going to come across all sorts. It stops everywhere: Birmingham, Manchester, the whole shebang. So I was on the way to Wolves. So
got there in
the
one
Wolves
piece?
Fans were a bit lively.
All right.
Yeah.
Nothing too nasty though. Not this time.
Nothing. No, just
you didn't need two old ladies to come to your aid.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
No one came to my aid.
Martin, who's closer to Manchester City as the next best title challengers, Liverpool or Arsenal?
I think it's Arsenal, really, because, as we say, they're into that rhythm, that habit of winning games. Declan Rice coming in has just added a little bit more into that midfield. Jesus, another year older in the team. I thought he looked excellent in that. I mean, they really look good, Jimmy, in this Champions League game. They look really ready for it. I think it's helped them, the European football they've had in recent years. I mean, the likes of Saka was cutting his teeth.
Yeah.
First team football came in the Europa League. Now he looks a seasoned pro in that competition. It's only one game. But it's a massive, really positive start for us.
Okay, and West Ham off and running, a 3-1 win over Baka Topola. They are new to me, I have to say. And Rangers, we mentioned them at the top of the show, but that's a good win over Real Betis, because Betis, towards the end, were giving them all sorts of headaches. But Rangers came out on top 1-0.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.